it gave the impression for anyone who's in there that if NFA is looking at this through an NFA member, I should be confident that NFA is looking over those cash market transactions. So our board of directors and executive committee, again, have concerns about that because we're seeing that more and more. So we put out a requirement in August of this year for all of our members to put specific disclosures in their customer documents and the solicitation. Primary one, there was the usual volatility and all the stuff that we had put out in our advisory in December. Only this was done directly to their clients. But we also made them put in a disclosure that to the extent they're engaged in the crypto cash market, not the derivatives cash market, NFA is not overseeing that market. We wanted to be completely certain that all the clients understood that. Again, so there was no kind of false sense of security that we were out there monitoring all the transactions in that crypto space. The last thing that we started thinking about that was very concerning to us and continues to be the biggest challenge is asset verification. So particularly with our CPOs, people are CPOs are soliciting money from folks, and they're saying they're going to invest in, I'll just make it easy, in Bitcoin, right? And they're buying Bitcoin. One of our examination process, whether it's Bitcoin or treasuries or securities, is to go out and ensure that they took in $5 million, did they actually buy anything with it? So to us, first of all, in a perfect world, all these people would be required to be on an exchange or what custodian that Simon was taking a look at, and give us a little more comfort. But the unique thing about NFA in the pools is that we currently, at least, do not control what jurisdiction those assets are held in, those virtual assets are held in, whether at an exchange, whether in a hot wallet, cold wallet, whether it's U.S., non-U.S. That's not something under our jurisdiction. It's just a matter of us verifying wherever it may be that it actually exists. So we're like, this is going to be a big challenge for us. So we embarked on reaching out to the industry. We held roughly 8 meetings from, we met with the exchange, CME. We met with a couple of cash exchanges, crypto exchanges. We met with end users. We met with some consultants. We met with some auditing firms. And the one commonality in all of it was it's going to be difficult to define ownership and control in the crypto space. More importantly, to be able to define exclusive ownership or control. So we started brainstorming some ideas with this group to kind of get some level of comfort of what we can do. We came up with, something's traded on an exchange, right? We certainly, in one respect, have a little higher comfort level. Again, it's going to depend on the exchange. There's a lot of exchanges out there, right? But perhaps we could reach out to the exchanges themselves who are maintaining these crypto assets in an omnibus account to have them verify who owns it. Well, that works pretty well. It's not foolproof, but it works pretty well, but only if the exchanges are willing to cooperate with us. So we've already had a situation on an exam where, there's Bitcoin, there's a variety of coins that were being held. I think they were being spread out around 4 different exchanges. 3 of the exchanges were very forthright, gave us information, gave us a high degree of comfort of the ownership of those coins. One exchange went. One exchange determined that they weren't going to share that information with us. Now, luckily, in that particular case, it was a de minimis amount of the assets that were being held was at that exchange. But it brought to light that, while there is some comfort in going to an exchange and having an independent, I would say, third party verify the ownership, it's not foolproof because we can run into a situation, which we already did, where an exchange would not share with us. Again, going back to, we don't control or require these assets to be held in any particular jurisdiction or custodian or exchange. The other thing we determined that might work, again, I'm around to solicit any ideas you guys may have to help us, was one was like to get to control aspect of having someone log in to wherever they're at. I mean, certainly we can see in the public ledger where it's have them log in, or maybe have them send us extraction of the NFA fraction of some of the Bitcoin or whatever coin they're holding, so we can verify that they have control to send it to us. We could kind of verify they have ownership because they're sending it to us. Again, we don't know if it's exclusive or not. We don't know that necessarily that while I'm the pool, I had, Simon send me a piece of his coin. So it becomes quite a challenge for us. We're at the place where we're getting there, right? But we don't have any foolproof way. And in the treasuries, we could go to a bank, right, get independent verification, securities, get independent. People invest in real estate, and even there you can get independent verification based on the records as to who owns or controls that real estate. We're having trouble to some degree in the virtual space. One other thing that we ran into in an exam was determining the valuation. Right? Part of the things we're looking at, and it goes to promotion and disclosures, is when these CPOs are coming up with their assets under management for the rates of return. Right? So if you look at something like a major coin, like Bitcoin, you get a pretty good idea of the price of it, because there's a lot of different coins out there that aren't very liquid at all. So how do you actually value that? You know what you bought it at, right? But one, what is that price currently if it's very illiquid? Even more importantly, if you get to where the price is, what's the liquidity to be able to sell that asset? So when you're doing rates of return, how do you determine what haircut, if any, you should take on a particular currency, cryptocurrency, when you're calculating the rates of return? We ran into one situation where the pool operator said it's very liquid, so they were valuing it just at cost, what they bought it at. Right, which to me was kind of interesting. I'm not sure how you could get a rate of return on that, but nonetheless they were. So that's another challenge we're facing. We've met with independent auditors, and to most degree these auditors aren't really offering a qualified opinion on a lot of these areas yet. So we're continuing to monitor the situation. Again, it hasn't grown to a large degree yet with the amount of participants we have in the market and with our members. But nonetheless, we continue to be vigilant and try and come up with ideas, particularly when it relates to the asset verification. I will say, just recently, the thing was kind of interesting, and I believe Trevor Bland was here the other day talking about the new initiative with BAC, the custodial service, right, which in a single-day futures contract, a world contract, whether it's BAC or another one, it's getting into that regulated space that I think gives more and more comfort to people, because right now, I would say it's very light, if at all, regulated. So to the degree we have regulated custodial services, as you can imagine, our comfort level, skyrockets, and we get to a place perhaps closer to where we are with securities, treasuries, gold, and silver.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Joe. So why don't we open it up for questions, comments? You guys want to give some insight on what you're all doing in this space? That would be wonderful.